Good afternoon. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. Today is a day of mixed emotion with the announcement of Bruce's transition from to the front office, along with Todd's selection as our new head coach. These are two very significant developments in the history of our franchise. First, I'd like to take a few moments to reflect on the impact Bruce has had on our franchise. And then, a little later, we'll welcome Todd. In January 2019, we all gathered right here in this room to announce Bruce's appointment. While we all had high hopes that day, I don't think anybody here would have expected what had transpired over the last 3 years on many fronts. On the field, Bruce promised he would bring this community a Super Bowl title. And bring it he did, making history right here in Tampa. During a season that was played probably under some of the toughest circumstances in the history of the National Football League. There's no doubt it was Bruce's incredible leadership that took us to the top of the mountain. Off the field, Bruce created a culture within our organization that was sorely missing throughout the last several years. While Bruce's coaching resume and accomplishments speak for themselves, just as important is the legacy he leaves for providing opportunities to people of all ages, races, genders, and backgrounds. So many people talk the talk, but Bruce puts his thoughts and his beliefs into action and has always led the way in opening doors that needed to be opened. Finally, is Bruce the person. As we all know, Bruce is genuine. He tells you what he's thinking, good and bad. He cares about people. He treats everyone with respect. He does things the right way. And he cares deeply about the people he works with. And that's why we're here today. Bruce, I know I speak on behalf of my family, everybody in the organization, coaches, staff, everybody in the community, when I say we're eternally grateful for everything you've done while you've been here. And finally, in order to recognize all your accomplishments and everything you've done for us and the community and the franchise, I wanted to announce in this upcoming season, you'll be going into our Ring of Honor to join all the other Buccaneer greats, and it's well-deserved. I can't thank you enough for everything you've done. It's been unbelievable. I know you're not going away, but I'll miss you on the sideline. With that, I'm going to turn over to Jason.
Over the last few days, I've had a lot of time to reflect on what you've meant to us, the organization, to me personally. Your whole family is about giving opportunities, but you walk the walk, like Joel said. Diversity, inclusion, age, doesn't matter. You find a place for good people. Look back on my first interaction with you. I was in Arizona 2013, and I was lucky enough to tag along with Michael Bidwell and Steve Keim on Interview. We had dinner that night. You stole the show. The confidence that you exude, you already knew you had the job without even doing the interview. So I picked you up in the morning to take you to the facility. You told me that you were going to be the coolest coach I ever worked with, and you are. You told me to buckle up because we're in for one hell of a ride, and we have been. You also told me that you're going to set the culture with trust, loyalty, and respect, which you did, not only there, but here. Those are the pillars we all live by. And you actually asked me to make a phone call to get t-shirts printed up. You hadn't even got the job yet. Then you say, win or lose, we booze. We definitely did that. Your accomplishments on the field are, there's not enough time to talk about them. You're in the Ring of Honor, obviously, but you should be in the Hall of Fame for everything you've done on the field and off the field. It has been a true privilege for all of us to to work with you. And I will continue. I just don't go right, I go straight now. Thank you, Bruce.
Well, damn, Joel, I wasn't going to get emotional, but that's truly an unbelievable honor. Again, thank everybody that's here. It's been a great 3 years. When you know it's time, it's time. And no better time than right now. 3 years ago, sitting at this podium, we talked about creating a culture, a winning atmosphere, that we're going to do it our way. We're going to be fast, we're going to be physical, and we're going to be smart. And it's paid off. Mostly I got to thank the coaches, man. You guys did it all. I mean, I really didn't do shit. I just led the ship, but you guys did it all. You had them individually every single day. The players bought in. There's so many people I would like to thank. I'm going to start with Chuck Pagano and Jim Irsay. You know, that miraculous season we had in Indianapolis, I was 60. I never got a call for a head coaching interview, all right? But with Chuck getting sick, Joey, Chuck, Goody, you guys were all part of that. I got an opportunity never to be the head coach, but to lead. That led to an Arizona job. And I can't thank Michael Bidwell and Steve Keim enough for giving a 6-year-old guy a shot when it's a young man's supposedly game. But I think Andy Reid and Coach Belichick and a few of us old guys proved them wrong over the last few years. Then again, I can't thank the Glazer family enough and Jason for giving me this opportunity at 66, when, again, it's a young man's game. But I thought in that meeting we connected on what's really valuable and setting a culture that lasts forever. And like Jason said, those 3 words, trust, loyalty, respect, they don't go away. They're still on the walls in Arizona. I hope and I know they'll stay here. Our entire organization bought into one team, one cause, and they know it was real. Every single person in the organization's job is so important to help the franchise win. Again, the players, man, there's so many, I can't name them all. I wish I could go just through the list of quarterbacks. But it's been an unbelievable ride. I'm extremely excited about the future, what the future holds for this franchise and for me. Number of people have already asked, why are you stepping away from the chance to go to the Hall of Fame and win another Super Bowl? Because I don't give a shit about the Hall of Fame. Succession is way more important to me. This has been my dream for a long time. Guys that know me, they knew I wanted one of my guys to take over. And that's more important to me than anything. And have a place where I could go and be welcomed back. And obviously, I have a job now, and I kind of love the title's pretty good. We'll figure out what the hell it means soon, but but it's pretty damn good. And I get to stay and have the relationships that I love. And I couldn't turn it over to a better person. Been together, boy, I hate to say how many years, age both of us, but Todd's going to do a great job. And whatever everybody needs, Jason, Joel, Darcy, Todd, whatever my title means, I'm there. And again, I can't say thank you enough to the coaches and the players, man, for just being outstanding and buying in and believing the bullshit I threw out there. And it's been a great ride. Thank you.
You can stay up there for a moment. We're going to go ahead and open it up to a brief Q&A portion. If you can just raise your hand, a microphone will be extended.
Go, brother.
Hey, Bruce. Greg here on the left. Sorry. Bruce,
Okay.
just
Yeah.
wanted to ask you about the timeline and what this has been like for you as something you've weighed since the end of the season, when Tom retired, when Tom came back, all those things.
Yeah, I mean, kind of in the statement, thought about it after the season, but again, it wasn't right. Obviously, going through the combine, going through all that process, trying to build next year's team without Tom. And then when Tom said he'd come back, it's like, Now it's easy. Now it's easy. We're in the best shape we've ever been. It's no better time to pass the torch than now. I don't know what February brings, all right? But I know what today brings, and it makes me really happy.
Coach, when you decided to go, did you seek any input from family or friends, or is this 100% Bruce Arians?
Oh, no, my wife and family had a lot to do with it. And obviously the coaches didn't know till last night or the night before. So Jason and I have been talking about this. And obviously we included Joel and Tom and a few other people. But, yeah, it's something, it wasn't spur of the moment.
Bruce, congratulations on the honor about being in the Ring of Honor and for all that you've accomplished here. I know you and Todd have got a long-standing relationship. You've shared some advice with him publicly. What type of advice would you give for Todd Bowles here in Tampa in his second go-round as a head coach?
Just be yourself, because that's plenty good enough.
Bruce, you talk about succession with Todd and the importance of that. Also, how important is it for you to have guys here, Tom's here, to have the support of the players as they understood the decision that you're making?
Yeah, it's extremely important. I know a lot of guys were shocked. I got a chance to talk to a few of them beforehand. Yeah, it's if there's one thing I know, our players have my back.
Bruce, I know you've been thinking about this for a while, but can you narrow it down to when you kind of said that's it? You told Christine that's it. I know you were at the Breakers on Sunday. What was the moment that it was finalized?
I don't know the exact date or time, but shortly after Tom and I talked, and Jason and Joel, I sat down with my wife, and then we said, let's do this. And then we talked about what's next, stepping over to the front office and doing that job. So there's no actual minute that it happened. It was building. I felt very comfortable after talking with Tom that the franchise was in great shape.
And Bruce, you're such a competitor as a coach. How difficult is it to walk away when, as you say, this franchise is in very good shape and on the brink of competing for another championship?
It's not hard because I'm going to be a part of it. And, that's huge for me to have a hand in the pile and just watch from the sideline and give whatever I can and wherever I'm needed. If Byron wants a new red zone package, I'll give it to him.
Hi, Bruce. Ira's very upset that you don't care about the Hall of Fame. But I know you're when time goes by, you're going to settle into this role. You're not a guy who's going to stand over the shoulder, but what do you kind of envision you doing as far as coaches leaning on you?
Wherever anybody needs me. I'm excited about having a hand in the draft. Done a lot of work, maybe more work than I've ever done on a draft this year, and go from there. And I just got to figure out where the hell I'm going during the game, because I can't be on the sideline because they'll be throwing flags on me left and right for cussing out the officials. I ain't the head coach no more, and Coach Moore can get away with that, So yeah, that's the biggest part. Where the hell are you going to stand during the game?
Coach, congratulations on a wonderful career. You mentioned that you talked to Tom. I don't know if you were able to share any details from that conversation with us. There have been reports about, friction with him, but obviously he's here today. Yeah. He's here today to celebrate your career. What can you say about your relationship with him and that conversation?
Get your ass on the golf course, man. I'm getting broke. No, we have a great relationship. I mean, all the players there are a few in here, every one of them's gotten cussed out, all right, including him. So that's just part of me, So that's nothing new. But we have a great relationship. I mean, as soon as he retired, I think we text every week. Hey, where you at? What are you doing? When you going to play golf? When you getting back down this way? And so people got to write shit. I mean, and it couldn't be further from the truth.
Bruce, here, congratulations on your new role. When we talked to you at the Combine, you were so excited about this upcoming season. You were even talking about some of these younger guys, whether it's Gabbard or Trask. Did it change between the Combine and now your decision to step away?
Yeah, because at that point in time, I had to be excited. You know, it was about building this next team, and every year is different. A lot of it changed when Tommy decided he was coming back, and so then it was, hey, it's time. It's time to pass this torch.
Coach Todd played for you at Temple. Did he show signs of leadership and possibly be the head coach back then?
Yeah, and until he broke his damn wrist. We had the best game plan to beat Penn State's ass. He jumps up in practice and breaks his damn wrist, and we had to put a walk-on in his place. And but no, he's been the brightest guy I've ever coached. And you know, I think he, as a player coach, Byron as a player coach, they just had it. You knew they had it. He loves telling a story about when I told him, hey, you might want to think about getting in coaching because I don't think the NFL's in your future. And he went and played 10 years and got a couple Super Bowl rings. That's how good of an evaluator I am, you know. But no, it was always in the cards.
Hey, Bruce, in all of, over here.
Where you?
Oh, wait.
Oh,
I'm
there
over
you are,
here.
sir.
Hey, in all of this, in the last couple of weeks, or I guess when it started to creep into your mind that you might do this, what was the most challenging part of this process? And when you have to turn the chapter and go on to the next page, what's the toughest part?
Yeah, the hardest part was keeping it secret. And, you know, and thank everybody that did that knew. There weren't very many. Yeah, just the last couple of days, you know, letting the players know, letting the coaches know, letting the nation know. But again, I couldn't be any happier right now.
Okay, we've got time for two more.
Bruce, you mentioned over here succession, how important that was to you. But on your staff, you have a handful of guys that could potentially be head coaches currently. When you were able to assemble the coaching staff upon your original hiring, was that a discussion that you and Todd had? Was that something that you had understood between the two of you that at some point you had hoped to give it specifically to him?
No, because I really thought he was going to be a head coach after the Super Bowl and then this past year. So it's long overdue. Just that, you know, watching the hiring process this last year and Byron going through what he did and Todd, very fortunate for me that we could do it today. And but yeah, we do have an unbelievable coaching staff. We've got at least 4 or 5 guys and maybe 6 or 7 young guys that I think will be head coaches in this league one day.
Coach, what are you proudest of in your coaching career, and what are you going to miss the most?
Players, you know, the everyday cussing them out and hug them later, you know. That's just been who I have been forever, and that's what I'm excited about because I'm not walking away from that. I get to keep that part. And I can walk through the locker room right now and it won't be the police, you know. And the guys are back there laughing, but I walk through anyway. So I'm looking forward to that part of it.
The cigar in your pocket, sir, is that for a celebration today? Or?
Yeah, but it's a special one because this was my Christmas present from the coaches. I got a whole case of them. And if you notice, the label said, no brisket, no biscuit.
Okay. Thank you very much, Coach.
Thanks, guys. Hey, one other thing. It's been great working with you guys in the press. You've been fantastic. All over the country, all right? Florio, you can write what you want. It's okay.
Now we look towards the future. And we are blessed because Bruce left us in a position with multiple head coaches on our coaching staff. And when we started this discussion and he was talking to us about Todd, really it wasn't even necessary. Getting to know Todd over the last 3 years, what's become clear to us is his leadership ability, the way he brings along young players, the respect our team and our players have for him, his mind, his creativity, his work ethic, the person he is, the family he has. For us, it was really an easy choice. You know, Todd's had a storied career in the National Football League. We all know what happened, Super Bowl 55, the unbelievable performance, the defensive performance against the Kansas City Chiefs. He came in here a couple years ago where our defense was struggling. Came in, put his head down, got to work, and showed all the traits that one would look for in a head coach. And when you see him interacting with the players, like I said, the respect he has, heck, he's even developing players in his own household with his son, who everyone wants to recruit. It's really a pleasure, it's an honor to have Todd lead us into the future. So with that, I think Jason's going to say a few words, and we're very, very excited.
Well, it's going to be hard to top that. I will just basically echo everything that Joel said. But I first met Todd, and we worked together in 2013. And I was the number 2 in the personnel department. He was a coordinator, so we were kind of on the same path. And so we worked a lot together. And we formed a very strong personal and professional bond that little did I know at that time was going to carry over 6 years later here. And it's gotten even better. He's a phenomenal person, great family man, talks about his family all the time. He's a mentor to a lot of people in this building, not just the players, but other coaches, staff members. You'll often find people in his office just him offering advice on how to just be a better person. I know he gets a lot of that from Bruce. Tremendous leader and has rare intelligence and obviously a great football mind. So it's going to be a pleasure to work with you. It's going to be a great transition for us, thanks to Bruce bringing you and the other multiple head coaching candidates that we have on our roster, on our staff. But it's going to be a pleasure to work with you and get to know you even better. So with that, I'll introduce Todd.
First, it's kind of bittersweet for me, obviously, with Coach Arians stepping down. He's been in my life for, maybe 4 decades, so to speak. Again, not dating how old we are, but, I've gone from being a son to a nephew, to a cousin, to a brother, and we've grown over the years immensely, and I'm sure the staff, the coaches on the staff can say the same thing. There's not one person on this staff that he hasn't touched in some kind of way, personally, and in their personal lives as well as coaching lives. So for us as a coaching staff, he will sorely be missed, because when Bruce walks in the room, there's a big presence when he walks in the room. The only thing we have in common probably is our bald heads at this point, but he smokes, I don't. He drinks, I don't. So we got along well because we never got in each other's way. So from that category, but speaking to me personally, from a man to a point, he will probably be, if not probably, definitely is the most influential coaching figure, father figure, that I've ever had in my life in this league, so as long as I shall live or continue to be in this league. And I just want to thank him personally before I go on, just face to face, so the whole world knows what he's meant to me, what he means to our coaching staff, what he means as a family man, what he means as just hearing advice from us, taking advice from us, cracking the whip, understanding who's in the building, being comfortable in his skin, making everyone else feel comfortable in their skin, and allowing us to coach football. You don't get that everywhere, okay? You don't get that everywhere. He teaches, he takes advice, he understands, and that's what you need to be a good leader. And I will try to do that going forward. We have plenty of guys on this staff, coaching-wise, that are great leaders, great men, great individuals, and fun to be around. We're not changing the program. We're trying to add on, because when you don't win a Super Bowl, despite the record, we're good enough, but not great. And we got to tweak some things and do better as ourselves, as coaches, which we'll go on to do, as well as try to teach that to the players so we can go on to do that. But as a man today, from the coaching staff and myself, we send our respect out to Coach Arians. Now, I have a lot of people that I'd like to thank. I can only name a few. First, starting with my family. My oldest son couldn't be here. He's in college, but my wife, Tanika, who takes care of everything and everybody at all times and is the head of the household, despite I think I'm head of the household. And Troy and Tyson, I can't say enough about. It's a joy to go home and enjoy coming home from work when I do have to come home. I'd like to thank the Glazer family for giving me this opportunity, you know, getting to know Ed, Brian, Darcy, Joel, the entire Glazer family over the past 3 years have been a straight joy for me. Nothing but a class act, great people, not just great owners, great people individually, and they're all different in their own right, and they're all very respectful. I have a great deal of respect for. They understand the game, they understand the business, and they're very easy to talk to, so I look forward to continuing that relationship. I would like to thank the Glazer family for giving me that opportunity. Like Jason said, you know, we've known each other since Arizona. We have a great working relationship and personal relationship, as well as a lot of other guys on the scouting staff side and the personnel side, Bill and Spytech, to name a few, obviously, but I look forward to that. I may not be the coolest guy he'll ever meet, but I'm pretty damn chilled myself. So. But, you know, I'll take that, and Bruce will always be the coolest. So I'll go over to the chill category, and I'll try to start something there. But, you know, it's a great opportunity today. Bittersweet, but sweet. He's happy, he's healthy, I'm happy, he's healthy, we're happy, he's healthy. And we're going to try to continue on and do a lot of things that we've done. For me, myself, the defensive side of the ball knows me pretty good. I'm pretty sarcastic, as despite you guys thinking I'm very quiet, I'm probably the most talking and shit guy on the field at practice time. So, you know, that'll come out pretty soon. The offensive guys know me. They'll get to know me a little bit more from that aspect. I think we got a great group, I think core group to carry on. You know, we have an offense, we have a defense, we have to coach it better, we have to play it better. I'll say that every time we lose a ball game. So, and that's a fact because we're in this thing together. We're in this thing together. We're going to ride this wave. I look forward to getting to call the teammates, especially on offense. I will call each and every individual. Whether they answer or not, we'll see. But we got to get this thing going, and we want to get back on track. And you should have a sour taste in your mouth after last year. I know I still do. And that's all the time when you don't win the big one. That's common knowledge and common sense. So we're going to get this train moving the right way. I'm excited for this opportunity. When Bruce and the Glazers turned this over to me, Bruce being the head man and allowing the Glazers, it wasn't just Bruce, it was the Glazer family that had to turn it over to me as well because they run this building. Jason had to turn it over to me, and a lot of people had to be in agreement for this to happen. This is not a one-man show. So from ownership, general managers, head coaches on down to make this decision. I feel very humbled. I feel very honored. I feel very excited. I'm ready to go, and we'll try and get this thing rolling.
Thank you, Coach. We're going to go ahead and open it up to a question and answer session here now. If you can please, again, raise your hand, and a microphone will be extended.
Hey, Todd. Just wondering what the biggest learning lesson was after your experience in New York and what you're bringing here to the Bucs.
I think when you take a head job, you know you have to wear a lot of hats, but you don't ever experience wearing those hats. And when you understand that going in without the experience, I think you tend to do things a little differently. And you have to be man enough to know when you can change things. Usually when people get fired, they blame everybody else. The first thing I did was look within myself. And there were a lot of things I can do better that Bruce gave me warning signs for when I left Arizona that I saw in New York firsthand. And a lot of things transpired to run a building and putting the right hat on at the right time and understanding the right people at the right time. Instead of lumping everything in one whole lump and dealing with it that way, you have to treat it individually, and you can't sweat the small stuff, and you got to move on from there. And I think that experience has helped me become and stand right where I am today and be a better coach going forward.
Hey, Todd. Greg Allman over here. Congratulations. When Bruce stood there 3 years ago, he talked about how comfortable he was because of the coaching staff he was able to bring here to Tampa. You've worked with just about everybody on this staff for 3 years, which is more than most new head coaches can say. I just want to ask you about the confidence and the comfort that you have from that and how you'll handle splitting up the defensive duties now as well.
Well, the comfort level is outstanding. I've worked with most of these guys for more than 3 years. We were together in either Arizona, New York, or somewhere else. So the comfort level, Byron, Goody, Casey, Foote, Ross, Rapone, Gilbert, McNair, everybody is very comfortable from that standpoint. We all know each other. We all get along. We all are our own individual leaders, but come together collectively as coaches to make us a better team, and that's what we're going to continue to do. It's not about who's the smartest. It's about us coming to an agreement and being right and being on the same page when we play, regardless of what side of the ball it's on. And Bruce has taught us that, and we're going to carry that on. As far as defensive duties, there'll be co-DCs with Casey Rogers and Larry Foote to carry on. I will still call it this year, but they will run a lot of the defense going forward.
Todd, congratulations.
Thank you.
Todd, starting today, you're the public face of a franchise that kind of is in the forefront of NFL diversity. How much does that mean to you?
It means a lot. You know, being a person of color, you want to get hired off of your ability, you know, but as a kid, to see some people like us in these places and in these jobs, it gives hope to a lot of people. You don't coach for that reason, but being a kid growing up and going around neighborhoods and speaking to people, you understand the impact that it has on their lives. And we just try to be the best coaches we can be going forward. And you got to credit Bruce to giving everyone a chance, and everyone on this staff understands the difference in diversity and how to be a good coach, but you better be a good coach first. And I think he did a good job creating both and getting both in this building. So it means a lot to me.
Todd, how much better of a coach will you be the second time around with number 12 under center now?
No, it's always great to have him on the center. Finally, I get to play with him instead of against him. You know, he's not beating my head in. We'll have some spirited practices. We had great conversation. I think the world of the guy. I think we're more alike than you could ever know on the scenes, even though it doesn't look like it on the surface. He's probably a little more chilled than I am, so I got to find a new thing other than that too, because Bruce took cool and Tom took chill, but you know, I got to find my niche in this whole thing without being a jerk about it. So I'm going to look for that and try to find that any way I can find it.
Todd, Bruce mentioned that he thought you should have got an opportunity to be a head coach after the Super Bowl, and I know you had interviews after that season and after the past season. How disappointing was it? How frustrating was it for you to get passed over? And were there moments of doubt or frustration that you may not get another opportunity?
It's not frustration. Anytime you get an opportunity, I think it's an opportunity to learn, to grow, to get inside organizations and see how they run things. And if you don't get the job, it's actually a plus, because when you go back to play those teams, you understand a good deal about certain things going on in the building. You can only control what you control. You try to be the best coach you can be, whether that's an assistant, quality control, coordinator, or a head coach. You be the best coach you can be, because you can live with yourself every day. And whatever job you get, you earn because other people see it. So sometimes the timing isn't right. There's only 32 of these things in the league. So you're talking about all the football programs in college and 32 in the professional league. It's hard to say you're disappointed, and to be even considered for the opportunity is really a blessing, no matter how many times you have to do it. You may get frustrated a little and tired a little, and I expect Byron to get one. I expect Goody to get one. I expect a few people on the staff to have head coaching opportunities and head coaching jobs. So it's just staying with the process and staying in the moment and being the best coach you can be, and let the opportunity take care of itself.
Todd, congratulations. Wanted to ask you about being a defensive-minded head coach. That's your background. That's what you're going to be calling this year, obviously, and on the sidelines. The league has, over the last couple of years, been a younger, offensive-minded, driven type of process when it comes to hiring coaches. You're carrying the flag for the defensive coaches. What does that mean to you, and why can defensive-minded coaches in today's NFL still have success?
I don't consider myself a defensive-minded coach when I become a head coach. I am a head coach of the entire team. There will be situational football that me and Byron will talk about, 3rd and 1s, 2-minute, end of ball games. You become a head coach. You become a head coach. I think there's this thing going around that defensive coaches can't be head coaches because you don't see them, and I think it's quite the contrary. Obviously, Belichick is an outstanding head coach, and we have a few in this league that are very good head coaches. And if you look back at the Super Bowls, with Dungy and Belichick and Tomlin and Parcells, you can go back years and years and find success as defensive coaches winning Super Bowls and being very good coaches. But, you know, it's a phase in the NFL and people get caught up in the moment, but they're good football coaches on both sides of the ball. And I think we got to try to make that a little more fair and a little more even. And the only way you can do that is to try and stop people, and that's what we're going to try and do.
Congratulations, Coach. Bruce had said that he wasn't entirely sure what his job responsibilities will be. How can he help you assimilate into this new role when you guys have the draft, say, a month away?
Because he's been in it, he's seen it, he's done it, and up until this week, he's been involved in it. So there's a great deal he can help me on. You know, I found out Monday, so my draft process has strictly been about the defense, and he's got a great deal of film knowledge and knowledge on the offense, along with Jason and his crew, that understand what we're trying to draft and how we're trying to see him. Now, I will catch up in the next few weeks before the draft, but at this point in time, he's going to be a great help to me in the draft process because he's seen everything, he understands everything, and he kind of knows what we need. He knows what kind of offense we runs, and you know, he can give me great valuable advice that way.
Todd, are you able to tell us who gave you the word that you were going to be the head coach and what your feelings were when it came to fruition?
Well, Coach Arians gave me the word. He called me on Monday, and you know, I was a little bit stunned, obviously, because you weren't expecting that. It's owner's week and your week off. So, you know, he gave me the word on Monday and let me know. So I had 2 days to kind of calm down and see it all and go through. And, you know, I talked to Jason, I talked to Joel, and everything was going at a pretty rapid pace. And we sat down and talked yesterday for a while, and they were very comfortable. I feel very comfortable. I feel very blessed to even have the opportunity that they trusted in me. You know, and I'll talk to the coaches next week, and we all have a great relationship, and they know my door is open to talk to them as well as them talking to me, and we'll try to keep this train moving. But again, between Bruce, Jason, and the big effort of the Glazer family, here I am.
We've got time for a couple more.
Todd, over the last 3 years, I'm sure there are things that pop up where you say, if I ever get the opportunity to be a head coach again, these are the things I want to implement. This is how maybe I want to do things a little bit different. Is there one or two things that kind of stick out that you've learned over the last 3 years that you thought, this is how I have to proceed moving forward as a head coach if I get that chance?
No, I think Bruce hit it right on the head. I'm just going to be me. I cannot be him. I don't expect to duplicate the things he's done. He's won a Super Bowl in the division. I want to duplicate that part, but probably with some tweaks in a different way. There's a lot of ways to skin a cat, and I'm just going to do it my way. I'm going to do it my way. I cannot wear a Kango hat. I cannot be cool. I can wear a ski cap when it gets cold, but I can't wear a Kango hat. So I'm going to do it my way with a lot of advice from him, a lot of advice from the other coaches, but I'm going to usually say what I feel, and I'm a very honest guy. We're very straightforward there, and we'll get to know that as a group as well. So, you know, that's the best advice that I've gotten. I think when I first started in New York, you try to do things the right way, then you don't do it your way, you end up having regret. So I'm going to do things my way.
Sir, I know you're a family man. What was your family's reaction, and what does this mean for them to be here in Tampa long term?
Well, my wife was shocked, and she couldn't believe it. I told my son, who's now a junior, when we came here, he was a freshman, that I let him finish high school for 4 years and I wouldn't transfer him again because obviously with coaching, you're in a lot of different places. So I'm happy to fulfill that promise to him. Obviously, my younger son is 11 years old. The world revolves around him, so he enjoys life as it is. And my son in college was very happy. Todd Jr., he was very happy for me. And, you know, it's great because I stand up here, and every time I do a press conference, I really try and talk to them because you have to teach your team as well as your kids when you're up here. You just can't be up here talking.
Okay, thank you. That'll conclude the Q&A session. We're going to go ahead and have a photo opportunity now on the stage. We'll just need a minute to clear the stage, and then we'll do that photo opportunity.